States could once again weigh in on the abortion debate. Tonight, the legal battle over Mifepristone continues. Now, the DOJ is asking the Supreme Court to restore full access to the widely used abortion drug. Follow me here. There's been a series of lower court decisions that imposed restrictions. First, you had a Texas judge who pulled FDA approval. Then Wednesday, a federal appeals court ruled it could remain available, but reduced the period of pregnancy when the drug can be used and said it cannot be dispensed by mail. A lot to sort of get into here and to understand on an issue that a lot of people are focused on. So we're joined once again for our weekly medical roundup by board-certified ER doctor Michael Daigneault, our Fox 11 medical contributor. Great to see you, Dr. D. So let's start with the basics here. What is Mifepristone?
So over the last 20 years, Mifepristone has become the essential medicine in good, robust, safe gynecological care around the world. It's meant to be a two-pill combination between Mifepristone and Misoprostol. And so basically how Mifepristone works is it blocks the effects of progesterone on the womb and essentially halts the progression of the pregnancy.
Okay, so I just said a lot of different things that have happened. Let's break this down to the most basic level. If a woman in California wants to get an abortion right now, wants to use Mifepristone, can she?
Yes. So that is still available. Both drugs are still available. It's a two-dose combination. What could happen by Friday, assuming that nothing else changes legally, and as you mentioned, it's a constantly evolving situation, is that access might be more limited. So previous rulings by the FDA have allowed access via mail. They've allowed access with less doctor visits, and so that is all threatened now with this new litigation.
And we're starting to see some of the liberal states, like California, stock up on pills, right?
Yeah, they're stocking up on Misoprostol, so California, New York, and so Misoprostol is the second in the two-pill combination. So the World Health Organization has said that in most of the world where Mifepristone is not available, you can still use Misoprostol. The issue is that Mifepristone is 99% effective. It has a very robust 30-year safety record, but the issue with Misoprostol is only about 85 to 90% effective, and there's much more side effects when you use that drug alone by itself.
So from a medical perspective, if you want to get an abortion, you say it's better to get Mifepristone, because some of the anti-abortion activists say that Mifepristone is unsafe, right? And what do you say to that?
You know, it's really interesting. You know, the plaintiffs, when they brought this case before Texas, before the judge there, they argued that it was unsafe on the basis that it was causing uterine contractions, pain, nausea, vomiting, bleeding. These are the effects of the drug. This is how it works. And then when you compare the mortality rate from common drugs that we know about, like, for example, so Mifepristone, every 1 million doses given, there's 5 people that die. And you look at penicillin, the rate is 10. And then you look at something like Viagra, where the rate is 50 per 1 million. So Mifepristone has a much more safety, robust profile than common drugs we use every day.
Wow. And so let's talk about this now going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We know they got involved in abortion, which is why we're having this in the first place. They got rid of Roe v. Wade, sent it back to the states. If they side with this Texas judge, what does that mean for everybody? What are the implications of that? And what does that mean for women here in California?
I mean, the implications are potentially astounding. I mean, what this could mean is that any doctor or doctor's group could say that regarding a drug or a vaccine, they could say, in the future, I may treat a patient who will have side effects from drug A or vaccine B, and following the precedent that this Texas judge set, they could basically limit access nationally to any of these drugs or vaccines on the basis of just a potential for something happening, which is very dangerous. That could affect a lot of common drugs and life-saving treatments that we use every day.
It's interesting that Merrick Garland, who is the Attorney General, now going to the Supreme Court with this. Merrick Garland, of course, almost was on the Supreme Court, and if he was, that Roe v. Wade probably would have never been overturned. Dr. Daigneault, thank you so much. Our medical contributor here. We always love hearing from you. Such an important issue for folks.
Thanks.